possible. Load in. I'm still not allowed to practice spellcasting, but at least I'm feeling back to normal. I'll be helping through and search through as many scrolls and tomes as I can. Nightkin. Greetings, Arya. Arya and I have begun wading through a sea of ancient text, but we've yet to fish out any promising cures for her condition. I did, however, recall something which may help narrow down our search. Long ago, Lambert had one particular book which he would read with uncommon intensity. I've forgotten the title now, but I do remember the inside was scrawled the memoir of a deranged killer who was executed as a heretic in Ishgard. This criminal is said to have committed a number of ritualistic murders, all carried out with a most peculiar form of thaumaturgy. I merely thought it a vulgar choice of reading material at the time, but now I wonder if that peculiar form of thaumaturgy was what kept Lambert glued to its pages. It sounds positively awful, and yet it might give us the clues we've been missing. I'll see if I can't track those memoirs down. I understand it's quite a rare volume, and when it comes to hunting down elusive treasure, it may be worth consulting a professional treasure hunter. Serenia, are you acquainted with Midnight Dew? Why don't you take Arya and pay her a visit? I will try my hand at a different route. It's a long shot, but Ravenna is known to stock a truly eclectic range of wares. Ah, it's you. Something neat? A heretic's memoirs for the young lady here? Ah, a bit of an odd request, but who am I to judge? Oh, so you're working with Sun Tierben. Thought you wanted it for some tasteless personal collection. Let me think now. Ishgardian heretic? Ritualistic killing? Oh hells, it couldn't be. One of my fellow salvagers was just telling tales of a treasure he'd spied in the Great Gruber Library. A rare book called Nightkin. Claims he glimpsed the title as he was running for his life through Rhapsody's quadrangle. 'Tis a sought-after tome for collectors of a macabre, said to be written by an Ishgardian murderer who believed himself some manner of demon. Half a diary, half a grimoire, and chock full of bloody lunacy. Well, it certainly fits the description. We should head back to Ravenna's and share the news with Thrun. Thank you for your help, Midnight. Yes, Nightkin, that was the title. Written by a killer who thought himself born of fiends. Such a belief would certainly brand him a crazed heretic in Ishgard, but I suspect the truth is he was, much like Lambert, a mage who delved too deeply in forbidden arts. And you say the book was seen in the Great Gruber Library? I have not entered that place since the Sharlayan departed this land. What of you, Serenia? I've been there. Like the back of your hand, eh? Well then, I vote for you to be our guide. I hadn't known the librarian's guardians had turned hostile. I'm sorry, Arya, but you will have to remain behind. No sense putting you in a situation where you might be forced to fling spells. Oh, I would have liked to have seen those fabled shelves, but you're right, of course. Come, Serenia. Let us hurry through the hinterlands ere some intrepid scavenger makes away with our prize. Right, let's not dawdle once we're inside. We make straight for Rhapsody's quadrangle and leave as soon as we've acquired the tome. From what I remember, the book Lambert would read was of a fair thickness and bound in leather covers. Hopefully it's not too difficult to find. This more lair than library now. Lead the way, friend. Speed reader. Understand the desire to protect one's collection. These guardians seem a touch overzealous. That book has teeth. Quadrangle is up ahead, just a little further now. Here we are, now to find the book. In the year 960 of the XIV era, a murder did occur when a member of the clergy was struck down by a knight of common birth. The knight whose name was Nathaniel wet his blade in the priest's blood after witnessing the unspeakable abuse of an orphan waif under the pretense of exorcism. May his conviction in the face of corrupted faith be praised. The pages contain incredibly detailed pictures of female deities in various stages of undress. No male divinities appear to be included in this collection. No, not that one. The took we seek is entitled Nightkin. During the Fawn dynasty, a series of unsolved killings shook the very foundation of Ulda. The murder was so named for the practice of leaving a card from the deck of Arcana by the bloody bodies of the slain. Officials publicly suggested that the murderers selected targets based on divination, as several key figures of a faction that opposed the royal house were prominent among the victims. However, it was whispered that the seemingly random slaughter was merely a cover for political assassination. The ink is faded to the point of illegibility. Today I visit Twelfthwood. Lady Amandine of a Tartancourt, a regular patron of mine, bid me call upon her household. I set off with confidence, my latest masterpiece in hand, but it was within the halls of Hawke Manor that I beheld the true pinnacle of perfection. The ever-living bibliotaph. Bah, we roused the guardian. Let's dispatch his nuisance. Tough. Any healing? Aua. I'm dead. Great. And of course I have to do everything again. almost have it. And it's sorry tale, Serenia. Okay, the bookish behemoth has fallen. It appears a prize was hid inside its belly. I'm the descendant of demons, a scion of tainted blood. It is for my brethren born into darkness, for the Nightkin, that I pen these words. The holy men will insist my teachings are madness, the raving of a deranged killer, but ye shall learn that all I scribe henceforth is eldritch truth, and their faith a twisted lie. Yes, we found it. There can be no mistake. We needn't tarry in this place. I've breathed my fill of moldy parchment. That was actually 2 tries. Which was annoying, as you have to run the entire... you have to run all the mobs again to get back to him. You did well in there, Serenia. I've never known acquiring a book from a library to be such a strenuous endeavor. May I see the tome? Yes, the author does certainly seem convinced of his demonic heritage. I can see how the clergy of a time would have passed these writings off as a heretic's delusions, but the spellcraft contained within is odd but incoherent rambling. Within his memoirs, this mage has provided specific instruction on the workings of forbidden sorcery. Little wonder that Lambert spent so much of his time studying the tome's secrets. But there's more, much more. Let us return to Idleshire. Arya needs to hear this. What is it? Does this demon curse, blood curse or whatever carry on through generations or something? I've just finished slogging through the last pages of a Nightkin. There were truths I discovered which made it difficult to continue, but among a mounting sense of horror, I found hope. Thus, I bid you listen until the end of my tale. I shall begin with the author himself. And so, this man who wrote the Nightkin was not merely some disturbed killer, but a mage who had mastered the arts of the ancient. Exactly so. A century ago in Ishgard, this monster and mortal guise devoured all manner of forgotten texts, teaching himself everything from red magic to Makai summoning rituals. The secret to his seemingly inexhaustible power lies in his bloodline. He was directly descended from a Makai archmagus who had ingested the lifeblood of a void-sent Queen Lilith. In fact, it was with this very archmagus that the vile practice of infusing oneself with void-sent blood first began. I believe I told you how red mages later outlawed these rituals, but the damage had already been done. Lilith's insidious energies had been passed on to the archmagus's heirs. This clan of ether-drinking spellcasters became known as those who were born into darkness, the Nightkin. The revelation which truly shook me, however, was yet to come. I discovered that Lambert was a scion of a Nightkin clan, and quite likely so are you, Arya. The book's author was of a Calovese family, a surname shared by Lambert. With no small amount of trepidation, I determined to look once more into your family records, and learned that the Calovese name was also prevalent on your mother's side. This can be no coincidence. Are you saying that void-sent blood runs in my veins? It explains your preternaturally strong affinity for blood magic. When I remember that Lambert was of a similar arcane disposition, the connection is even more obvious. He had no need to ingest fiendish blood. He simply evoked the corruption that had already lurked within him. The rituals for doing so were clearly described in the pages of the Nightkin. Were these rituals performed upon me too? Again, it's doubtful considering their complex requirements. My theory is that your latent talents were stirred into wakefulness quite by accident, through your induction into the ranks of a rat. I wonder, however, why the same awakening that took years for Lambert occurred so swiftly in you. An innate affinity, mayhap? Whatever the case, that this unstable condition was triggered by a desire for control certainly explains Lambert's parting barb about the injustice of your fate. But all is not lost. There is a way to undo the curse of your lineage. The first Calovis drew Lilith into our physical world by providing a mortal host for her soul to possess. He stood unflinching before the fiendish queen as he had summoned, and forged with her a bargain of blood and darkness. Once the Archmagus had partaken of her essence, however, he entrapped her inside a heavily glyphed box. Her material form was captured. Lilith was unable to return to her shadowy realm. It is written that her imprisonment on this plane of existence was a necessary act, lest the potency of her blood began to wane. Do you understand what this means, Arya? I think so. The corruption inside me will last only as long as the Voidsent Queen remains in our world. Oh, I see. We need to find that box and banish Lilith back to Void. Exactly right. Defeat the Voidsent, and the curse upon your blood is lifted. Of course, a creature of Lilith's stature would ordinarily present a near insurmountable challenge. We are fortunate, then, that the summoner bound her essence to a feeble vessel to prevent her from manifesting her full power. Even the few should stand a chance against this lesser incarnation. Now, it appears the author succeeded in tracking down Lilith's prison, and though the book makes no mention of the event, it is entirely possible that the box passed into his possession. Our surest bet will be to follow in his footsteps. Rest and prepare, my friends. We have an exciting adventure ahead of us. Okay, but I think that is enough for now. This episode is probably overly long, so I end it here, and next time, well, when we have leveled up, we continue, because, yeah, we need levels. 68 is the next one. Yeah. Okay, so next time will be something else. Until then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.